You're listening to a show on the Planet Film podcast feed. All right, and welcome everybody to the inaugural live episode. Yeah, wrong overlay there. We're working on it.
Wrong way.
Welcome everybody to the. There's gonna be some bumps along the way, but we are hoping you're having a great time. Okay.
That's funny.
We welcome to the inaugural live episode of the Planet Film podcast. So, obviously, elephant in the room. We have been off for I think 2 weeks. A week and a half?
Almost, something like that.
Yeah, something like that. I think of the main show, we've only missed one episode, because I think we went off like right after the last main show. But nevertheless, we are back with a brand spanking new overlay and working on a lot of stuff in the design aspect of the show. As you can see, we are also live, so we have been trying to get that working. We switched from StreamYards, which is who we previously went live through, and now I have everything working through OBS with about 400 different scenes linked up for this. So, yeah.
So basically, we know what'll happen if you go to the wrong one, right?
Yes, like exactly.
Like, my bad.
Exactly. All right. First of all, Molly Aaron, welcome to the chat on Twitch. Thanks for watching on Twitch. Looks like we have a couple people watching on Facebook as well. Cool. All right. So just to kind of briefly discuss about what happened, for those who don't follow us on Twitter, which is at Planet Film Pod on Twitter, go ahead and follow us there. That's where we always put out any news, any updates about the shows, and also any other information. We'll retweet news articles and stuff there. But unfortunately, I, in the past week, had a death in my immediate family that kind of derailed me a little bit from working on the show and also working on the YouTube channel, which the YouTube channel I'm trying to bring back with probably just a couple videos a week to start. But we are hoping to make this podcast network kind of the mainstay and the main focus of the YouTube channel going forward, because we're going to be trying to do a lot more with the whole Planet Film idea and kind of Planet Film network that we're kind of building here, trying to do our own little thing over here in New York. So without further... Oh, and also, TJ, I don't know if you want to talk about... I don't know if people can tell that have watched before, but TJ is in a different environment. You want to talk about that for a minute?
Yeah, so right now I'm in our new office. Me and my girlfriend just moved here about 2 weeks ago, I want to say. Still getting set up, I feel like. We're basically about done. Yeah, I don't know. That's all I got for you. It's new. It's... better than ever.
Awesome. And, just taking a play out of TJ's book, if you can't tell by my surroundings, I am also in a transition process. I'm moving out into a new apartment soon. I kind of got a little bit ahead of myself with the packing, just kind of want to get it over with. So I already took off most of if you could see, most of the posters and everything are off the walls. Those are all my shelves stacked up right behind me. But yeah, so hopefully that shouldn't impede on this too much. I'm trying to get as much out of the way now as possible so that we can focus on like this stuff going forward and everything. But we might as well talk about the other elephant in the room, which is Donald Beasley. Right there. There he is on screen.
I'm right here.
There he is. He's been there the whole time. Sound off in the comments if you noticed him. All right. No, but really, we have Donald here because we would like to, bring him in to help us with this episode. And also, I should just mention, this episode's going to be a little bit different. We're not doing a review today just because we're going with kind of a streamlined show here because we have so many exciting announcements for you guys.
We're trying to shorten it.
and we are trying to shorten it. And there's also just a ton of news. Not as many stories, but like we're going to be breaking down the Emmy nominations that we missed, which that alone is, I'm sure, going to be a long conversation. As well as a couple of really cool tidbits of news. So we're just kind of going with a streamlined show today. Like TJ said, the main goal of going live with the show is to cut down on me editing it. That's why I have 4,000 OBS scenes, is so that I could just throw it all in live. And to cut down on, it takes a lot of time. I mean, I obviously, if you've seen the video on the channel, I recently upgraded built my new PC, and then I've upgraded even further since then. So it's cut down on a lot of the editing time, but it still takes like 2 hours every single time to fully download, edit, export, and then upload the video to YouTube. So it's just a lot better. I'm still going to download it. We're still doing the audio show. For the audio listeners, there's pretty much going to be no change at all. It's just, I would just recommend, if you've only listened to us on audio, give the video feed a try, because we're trying to push that platform, give it a lot cooler of a look. So either way, it shouldn't really be changing on that front. We're still going to be uploading the audio every single episode, so don't worry about that if that's how you primarily listen. But without further ado, let's just go ahead and get right into these announcements here. And that is that Donald is not just only going to be co-hosting this episode, but he will be joining myself and TJ as a permanent member of the Planet Film family, starting right now. So he will be on this show, I would say often. As of right now, Planet Council is still going to be mainly me and TJ. But you can expect Donald on this show a lot more. He'll pop up on Council. TJ will still be in everything. But the main announcement is that we do have a new show. And in typical podcast YouTuber style, we are going to announce that last to make you suffer as long as possible. So with that...
Or if you're watching this VOD, you could just skip ahead to the end and just do it that way.
That's also true. Yeah, kind of the call that the...
TJ, you're killing the watch time.
Yeah, exactly. Call that the Comic-Con at-home experience, where they just post the video of the panel, so everybody just skipped to the end of New Mutants and said, well, there's no news. Bye. Yeah. So let's go ahead and roll some new intros that I have created for this now. So this is going to be our new intro for the Planet Film. Now, I'm going to send this to these guys later for the audio, because there is audio in them too, but these I've been working on. So let's go ahead and roll the new intro for Planet Film right now. All right, so that is the new intro for this show. Now let's go ahead and roll the same one for Planet Council going forward. All right, so those are going to be the two new intros going forward. And then, as you saw at the start of the episode, we played the new intro for the podcast feed in general, which, if you noticed, had the combination of all the colors of all the different shows that we're doing, the yellow and the purple for this show, and it also had the color blue in it, which, if you might know, you know that we don't have a show that's blue. Until now. All right, that is right. We are launching the Planet Hero show. Now, the big thing that Donald's going to be doing here is that show is going to be primarily me and Donald co-hosting it. So that is going to be a weekly show. So nothing's changing with Planet Hero, with Planet Film or Planet Council. They're both still going to be, weekly. We hope to bring it to you guys. We're still working out the days, but basically right now, what I'm kind of outlining in my head is this main show is still going to be a mainstay on Tuesdays. It just works out with whenever theaters do open. We're going to be able to bring you guys end of week news, beginning of week news, and also beginning of week box office, which is a major thing. You know, I was hoping to have a nice box office segment going by this point, but we still don't have box office. So
yeah,
exactly. So this show is going to be a mainstay for Tuesdays. Then Planet Hero is going to be like I said, myself and Donald hosting that every Thursday for you guys. And then Planet Council is still going to be staying in its regular spot on Saturdays. So it's going to be every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. We are going to have a live stream show for you guys to tune in, listen to, and just a little bit about, Planet Hero, what that show is going to be. Think you could probably already guess what it's going to be. It's going to be mainly me and Donald diving deep into the world of all things comic book, news, movies, TVs, comics themselves, anything like that. Anything that is based on a comic book or graphic novel, we're going to be covering it on that show. So, Donald, why don't you go ahead? Do you want to just give a couple words of, what you're hoping for from the show and what you're hoping to bring the people with the show going forward?
Most importantly, I hope to bring consistency, because you just said you weren't going to announce it till the very end, and then very next segment you announced it.
Oh, that's true. Well, I meant at the end of the new intros.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
like we announced it last.
Funny.
Yeah.
I'm excited to do it. I've wanted personally to do a podcast about various things for a long time. So being on this and doing the Planet Hero is super exciting for me. I can't wait to specifically talk about some comic books that I've been pushing Sean's way that I'm waiting to talk about.
Oh, yes. Yeah, and also that brings us to a good point, which is for those who do follow us on Twitter. Originally, before my relative passed away, we were going to have Donald on for Planet Council, and it was just going to be me and Donald filling in for TJ because that was the day of his move. And we were going to cover the Vader Down comic book run on Planet Council. And that is something that me and Donald actually just talked about this like a half an hour ago, which is, even though Vader Down is a Star Wars thing, because it's a comic book, we can talk about that on Planet Hero. That's going to be the place that we can talk about that on either show. But like that's going to be kind of the crossover area. Same thing with Avengers. Like it doesn't mean if like we have some Captain Marvel 2 news that we're going to cover later, it doesn't mean that we're not going to talk about that on this show. It just means, same way that we've done it with Planet Council, that if there's Star Wars news, we're going to cover it on the main show and then do a real deep dive, elaborate on it a lot more on the Star Wars show. Same with comic book news. So, if there's a Star Wars comic we want to cover, we can cover that on Hero, all that kind of stuff. So without further ado, do you want to go ahead and actually just get on with the regular episode here now that we have those announcements out of the way? Sound good?
Yeah, let's talk about some spicy news.
All right, so we are starting with the spiciest of the spice. Now, let us hope that these glorious...
These transitions work.
That these glorious... Oh, yeah, also, if you notice, I hope it worked. I wasn't really looking right at the screen when it happened, but also the transitions that I made are color-coded to each show. So hopefully those should be working as well. One can hope. And I also hope that these individual one-shots also work. Danielle says, "Get off your phone." I don't know who that was to, but thank you. Probably myself, because I do not pay attention. I'm just watching the stream. To make sure it's not on fire. Okay, so let's go ahead and dive right in with this first one. Let's switch to my shot here. All right, looks like we're working here. So first off, we have Ellen DeGeneres. Big thing happened with Ellen DeGeneres this past week, which is that her show was put under investigation by Warner Media. For those who don't know, that's the parent company of The Ellen Show, because kind of for years, it's almost been, I don't want to say a joke, but it's almost been like underhandedly like reference to that Ellen kind of doesn't treat her staff the best. And that kind of all came to a head in the last couple of weeks here, with a ton of staff coming out, speaking out, being vocal and loud on Twitter, talking about how, they've been treated poorly, fired for dumb reasons. Tons of stories just about Ellen as a person, kind of not treating people as kindly as she probably should. So basically, that all culminated with Warner Media saying, "All right, let's see if there's anything to this. Let's launch an investigation into the show." Um, so let's go ahead and take a look at this article here. So right now, I'm just going to switch over to Donald here. So Donald, you're on cam here with the article. What are your thoughts on this whole situation? Do you watch the Ellen show? And more importantly, just in a general situation where like a boss is not treating their employees like that, like what do you want to see happen with this situation in the end of things?
I'm gonna be completely honest. I have no idea what this whole piece of news is. I saw a video of Ellen crying a couple days ago. I was like,
Really?
"Oh, that's weird." Yeah, didn't know anything about this, but I'm not entirely surprised. Most big businesses don't treat their workers very well. Even plenty of businesses that I love, they don't treat their workers well in many fields. So it's not surprising at all. And she'll probably face zero backlash. Like 2 months from now, it'll probably all go back to normal, and she'll go back to treating them poorly.
Yeah. I mean, just to build on like what you said. So I think when the whole quarantine thing just started, she was talking about how she made some joke about like how being stuck in her house was like being the equivalent to like being in jail or something. People were not very fond of that comment. That was like one of the first things I feel like that sparked it, because she's like, a multimillionaire most likely, or not most likely, she is. So comparing her house to jail is kind of like, get over yourself. And then there was this other thing. I don't know if it was. I think this was a while ago. Actually, this was like live on her show. Is she had Dakota Johnson on, and Ellen was like, "Why didn't you invite me to your birthday?" And Dakota Johnson said, "Well, I did, and you just didn't come." And then she just like didn't say anything after that. But apparently this has been like a thing for like a long time, where she's not treated her staff in the best way. And the people that are coming out and saying that are also saying that the producers of the show are also enabling it, so they're not really doing anything about it. But of course, you have some celebrities that are coming out and are like, "Well, she's always been nice to me," and it's like, well, yeah, because you're a guest on the show and you're a celebrity. Like, she's not going to be an asshole to you. So, like, that doesn't make any sense to say.
Like, I know the main one that I saw of that was
Ashton Kutcher.
No, I saw Jay Leno.
Oh.
Did Ashton Kutcher say something?
Oh yeah, Jay Leno. Jesus.
Yeah, Jay Leno.
Says the guy who does. Says the guy who does a show on each one of his cars every single every other weekday.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like,
he was basically just like he was like, well, I've known Ellen for a long time, and I'm not just gonna let hearsay get in the way of our friendship.
Exactly.
And it's like, is it really hearsay if it's like 60 ex-employees? Like, is that really
I think it's a classic case of like the celebrities just being like deaf to the public. So like when they released that video of what was that song they were singing with Gal Gadot?
Oh Imagine, right? The
Imagine
thing?
Yeah. And then the other thing that just seemed and then the other, like, when the whole Black Lives Matter movement came out, they released like, it was like Aaron Paul, and I think Sarah Paulson was in there too. It was like a bunch of celebrities saying, it's like, it's just like some of the things they're like, they just don't
get
they
it.
don't know when to not say something.
Yeah.
It's like, especially for the Gal Gadot song, it's like, yep, you singing this song is gonna make everything better. It's like, just don't say anything. You're just better off that way.
Exactly.
But you could be right, Donald. Honestly, like this could probably, depending on if because I know they were looking for a replacement, and James Corden might have been first in line, which apparently he's not the nicest person in the world either.
What a stellar replacement! I'll just read this. Somebody is watching, said, "I feel like the fame and money gets to people, and they forget about human and basic decency. I think about humanity and basic decency." I couldn't agree with that more. I think it's really something that, like, you start off your career kind of, because like Ellen's whole brand is like I forget the actual like slogan or whatever, but it's like be the best that you can be. Like, she always promotes that, like, be happy, the dancing, obviously, like all that stuff. And it's like somewhere along the way, something becomes better than that. You know what I mean? Like something in their brain is like, well, fuck it. You know what I mean? Like I don't really like. I've gotten to a point where I just don't care anymore, and I'm just gonna keep watching. And it's like that's not a good way to live life. But yeah, exactly what you were saying with James Corden. I'll let you finish that thought right after. I saw a tweet about that said like, and then when James Corden gets canceled, I can think of no one better to replace him than Ellen DeGeneres. And it was like that's pretty much like the level that they're like dealing with here. But yeah, you can talk about that too.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, if we're like, I was just thinking to myself, I was like, oh, who would I like replace? Like, if I had the choice, I wouldn't go with James Corden because I'd be like, I feel like I just throw someone in there that I think is a very like down to earth person, I guess, the down to earth celebrity. I feel like I probably wouldn't do, even though they have the experience already, I probably wouldn't do like another like nightly show host that's already, Yeah. I just feel like, I don't know. I feel like they have to have like a more solid connection. And how about no allegations of them being like a nasty person?
Yeah, exactly. It's like what is the point of replacing someone with someone if you're just gonna have to turn around and do the same thing over again? Like that's what that like tweet is about. Is like, think what you're doing. Like you're putting yourself in a position where you would then have to just like redo it anyways. You know what I mean? Like 5 years from now, if somebody comes out and they're like, James Corden did this to me or something, you know what I mean? Like, I don't want to get into like defamation if you're James Corden's watching the show, but like if he's like, like, oh, James Corden did this to me at a party once, and now Warner Media's in another position where they got to get a new host. You know what I mean? And it's like, I don't know, but like you said, I mean, there with James Corden, there's been crap about him for years too, that he's like kind of a shitty person. You know what I mean? Like it's just kind of a douche, basically. Like that's what a lot of people say about him. But either way, it's gonna be interesting to see what unfolds in this situation. I mean, I don't even like what's it called with the COVID situation? Like it's clearly helping here because they don't have to make the decision right now. Like it's not like you're in a situation where they're like, Ellen's pulled off the air mid-season. You know what I mean? It's like the season's not on. It's just reruns. So it's like
you just said James Corden. My mind immediately went to Buster Jones.
That's what somebody said. Brazen Gated said James Corden, but it's only his character from Cats 2019. Yeah. Yeah, I appreciate that. Could you imagine if Buster Jones? And then we have my sister here. It says super quiet. Okay. Thank you, Danielle. My sister here said, Shannon, use the live chat on Twitch, but she said John Krasinski for a replacement. Now,
that'd be cool.
I had a little bit of issue with, and I'll be interested to get both of your takes on this. I had a little bit of issue with the whole selling Some Good News thing. Yeah. Because
we definitely talked about this like a few like
that was like one of our first podcasts. Yeah, was covering that. That Donald, do you know what Some Good News is?
No idea.
Oh, okay. It was, so you know who John Krasinski is? Right?
Yes.
Like Jim from the so he basically had this like in the very beginning of quarantine. He started up this YouTube channel called Some Good News, where he basically just like brought on some guests. Like he had office people, like Emily Blunt, obviously. And everyone was just like loving it. He just did it for free because he was like bored and wanted to bring people like some good news. And then the whole thing kind of ended in this weird corporate buyout where he sold the Some Good News title to them for like, what was it, like $30 million or something?
Yeah, it was decent. I mean, to us, maybe not to him. It wasn't that much money, but to us, it was. Actually, I'll let Donald go first. Donald, do you have like any thoughts on that?
I'm not against if he was the new host by any means. He seems like a fine dude. Yeah. I mean, he's the thing, but he wouldn't have the rights to Ellen. He wouldn't have the ability to do that. So it's not like he'd take it up and then immediately sell it.
Mm-hmm.
But actually, just real quick, I want to mention. I think that actually a good host would be the dude that Ellen has always kind of bullied around. I don't know his name because I have only watched like an episode or two of Ellen. But there's like her assistant that she's bullied for years.
Oh, no, not the DJ. I know who you're talking about. Andy, is that his name? The,
Maybe
like producer. I know who you're talking about. Yeah.
She like sends him like the on the scene stuff and then like makes fun of him.
Yes, yes. I that would be perfect.
Yeah.
I know exactly.
Also,
I can't think of his name, but
when I said the producers enabled it, I meant like the executive producers, not just like the.
No, you meant like at the Ellen level, not like some like go get me a cup of water, like okay, I will, like
Yeah.
But yeah, I think John, like that aside, that just kind of gave me a sour taste in the mouth of John Krasinski. But I've been rewatching The Office again, 30-second rewatch of The Office. It just makes me love him all over again. So it's like it's fine. It's like everybody makes mistakes. Everybody has that Hollywood thing, where it's like, well, all right, if they want to buy it, I guess I'll sell it. You know what I mean? It's like I won't hold it against the guy, but yeah. So it'll be interesting to see what happens there. I think that we came up with some really good suggestions for who can replace him. So let's go ahead and get on to the next story here, which is I don't know actually where either of you stand with this show. I think TJ said he hasn't watched it or watched the first episode or something. But Amazon's The Boys has been renewed for a third season. Have either of you guys watched that show or anything?
I've had it heavily recommended and I haven't seen it at all. I know nothing about it.
I've watched the first. I think either the first or the first and the second episode. Mm-hmm. Every time I'm on my Fire Stick, the trailer like auto plays for the second season.
Yeah,
and it makes me want to watch it because I know it's only 10 episodes or so, and it's 8.
It's quick. I think it's only 8. I think it's even 8.
Yeah, and they're only 45 minutes to an hour. So I know I could probably do it in one day if I really tried.
Yeah.
I do want to watch it, but I've only watched the first, second, or I think the first, second episodes.
Yeah, well,
I do have some interest in watching it, but I just have a sour taste for Amazon Prime in my mouth from years ago. I didn't really like the way it worked back then, and I haven't really messed with it since.
Okay, because they've been like killing it with their content lately. Like they are turning out really good shows. I don't know about movies because I don't think I've seen like an original Prime movie in a while. I feel like I could be wrong on that. But their shows, like they had Fleabag, Marvelous Miss Maisel, and they have The Boys. Again, none of those I've seen. I'm just hearsay that they're very good, so I could be wrong. But is what I've heard is that they're very good.
Yeah, I will say, I mean, because that's right. I remember now because TJ told me that because me and TJ both actually met Carl Urban, and TJ was like, "Who?" And I was like, "Just get your picture with him. You'll thank me later." And then he was like, "Oh crap!" We looked through his IMDb. It was at Toronto Fan Expo last year. We looked through his IMDb, and TJ was like, "Oh shit, okay." Because they had like the entire cast of The Boys was at Toronto Fan Expo like last year. But yeah, Donald, you need to watch. We got to do a review for it on the show, so you might mandatorily have to watch it. I might force you into that.
It is on my watch list.
Quick pivot. I'm sorry, this has nothing to do with the topic.
Okay.
When I plugged in my Samsung TV today, or what was it, 2 days ago? I was pleasantly surprised there was an HBO Max app. I was dumbfounded because I didn't know it was going to be on there.
On the Samsung TV?
Yeah. Because Hard Knocks is starting tonight, and if you don't know what Hard Knocks is, it's like basically it's HBO's like short documentary of the NFL's like preseason, and they follow one team for about like 8 episodes or so. It's really good actually. If you have any interest in football, you should watch it. And I was like, I'm gonna have to use my Chromecast to cast it, but I don't know. I just loaded it up the other day.
That said, I swear to God, that said HBO Now an hour ago. I did not look at that at all.
Yeah.
Crap, now I'm going to have to actually watch it.
Exactly. Sorry, that was just a quick pivot. I meant to tell you that. I was like, wow, I didn't see this one coming.
I had no idea.
Good pivot.
I had no idea. Let's see here. What are your guys' thoughts on the okay. All right here. We're first live show. I'm not really watching chat as much as I should. But we have somebody saying put Rosie O'Donnell back on the air. She was so successful, and also she's a very like political kind of person. You could probably get a lot of views with that these days.
What are you doing? Like, what's she up to?
I don't know. Rosie O'Donnell, right into the show. What are you up to? TJ wants to know. Let us know. No, I think she's just like doing like a book and like a comedy show. She did a live stream for COVID relief, like I think all the way back in like March at this point.
It's funny because the only thing I know about her is because actually I just watched League of Their Own like for the first time like last week.
Oh
with
yeah,
Danielle. And very good movie. She's good in it.
Mm-hmm.
But the only other thing I know about her is when they made fun of her in either Family Guy or The Simpsons.
Oh
and that's all I like. It's just like the parodies of her. And I feel like it's almost like the Nickelback effect, where it's like the internet is like just like hates Nickelback, and I feel like the same thing with Rosie O'Donnell is like, you know, not the internet or just like people just don't like her because of like either like TV or it's just like the thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Like same thing with Nickelback.
Yeah. And then so there's a couple more questions in chat here that we'll circle back to, but actually that brings us to our next story, which is that Amazon hands out a full series order for A League of Their Own. So this is obviously based on the old... Yeah, this is our next story, literally.
Okay.
Literally, that was our next story. So months after they wrapped production on the pilot months ago, before any of the COVID stuff happened, but then the COVID shutdown hit, and that kind of... They shot the pilot, did the pilot, sent it to the studio for approval and stuff, and then that was it. They got shut down, so they couldn't film the rest of the season. But I guess Amazon finally got around to watching it and realized that it was pretty good, because they have done a full series order for it, so it's going straight to series at Amazon whenever they're allowed to start production again. What do you guys think? I know you just said that you just watched it. Donald, have you ever seen A League of Their Own, or are you excited for it at all?
Never heard of it.
Never even heard of it. Oh my gosh.
This was not the podcast to bring me in about anything that we're talking about today.
It's okay though. It's okay though. That's the beauty of it though, is that I will tell you this. Same way that TJ, sometimes, he doesn't have all the, I mean, I'm just comparing him to myself. I'm not saying in general he doesn't know what he's talking about, because obviously he wouldn't be on a movie podcast if he wasn't. But like the same way that like I have to fill in like TJ's gaps in Star Wars and stuff, I guarantee you Donald is going to be filling in gaps in my brain for comic book stuff, all that aspect. Like that, he is going to... That is why, that big brain energy, as they say. Do they say that? I don't know.
I don't think they say that.
I don't think they say that, but it's okay. But yeah, it's okay. That's the beauty of this show, is that this is the main show that covers everything. So whenever we have guests on, if somebody hasn't heard of it, to me at least, that's just as interesting as a perspective on something. And then then if he was like, "Oh, I love League of Their Own. I'm so excited for it." You know what I mean? Because it's like, basically what it is League of Our Own. It's I think it was written by Tom Hanks, or definitely produced by Tom Hanks. I know that. But it also starred Tom Hanks back in the day, and Rosie O'Donnell and Gina Davis and Madonna and a ton of big stars from back then. Basically what it is it's about the first all women's baseball team, basically going and trying to make it and stuff. A really, really good movie, and a really great subplots in it too that aren't just about that. But I would definitely check it out. It's got people like, why am I blanking on her name? Abby, what's her face from Broad City. And then also Darcy Carden from things like Barry and The Good Place, Janet from The Good Place. They're going to be... I'm assuming they're going to be Barry. Oh, yeah. I'm assuming they're going to be the... what do you want to call it? The Rosie O'Donnell, Gina Davis, two main characters. I'm assuming the two of them will be. Yeah.
Real quick, we're not turning this into a review or anything. The standout... side character standout in that movie, John Lovitz. Oh my god, so funny. He's the best in that movie.
Right? Yeah. Just pull out my Lovitz impression that I haven't that nobody would even understand the reference to for the
Oh
past
my
10
God.
years.
Yeah.
But yeah, let me throw this up here, actually. There you go. There's just a picture of it for you guys to see what I'm talking about here. So you can see, it's obviously going to be a remake, retelling, so it'll be set back then. But yeah, it looks pretty good. I mean, based on the costumes and stuff, and apparently the network really liked the show. So I'm pretty excited for that. I'd be interested to know if any of the original cast or if Tom Hanks or anybody is a producer on it. But I'm sure we're going to get more info on that as we get closer. So now we have some news that for longtime listeners of the podcast, going all the way back to our very first episode, some of you may know that I'm a big fan of a movie franchise called Tron. And we got, boy, did we get some Tron news this week.
Something I know something about.
Yes. So first episode, I went on my whole long spiel. If you haven't listened to the first episode, go back. I pitch why I think that Tron Legacy is a good movie. I think that movie is. I love watching it. I've watched it I think 6 times since Disney Plus launched. It was one of the first titles I watched on Disney Plus because it looks fantastic on the 4K TV. It looks fantastic. Movie holds up like it was made 5 years from now, not 10 years ago. And then a couple weeks ago, we reported on rumor mill that Tron 3 was a go at Disney. That we were hearing a bunch of stuff from a bunch of different sources saying that there was a Disney Plus live action show planned that was scrapped because they were getting some really big talent interested in the property. So they were going to push it to theatrical. And now seemingly we have all of that confirmed here, which is finally, let me go ahead and switch over to the article for you guys, that Tron Legacy sequel finds its new life with Lion director Garth Davis. So Garth Davis, director of Lion, the Oscar nominated film from a couple of years back with Dev Patel and, oh my gosh, her name just escaped me, Nicole Kidman, is set to direct the film with Jared Leto attached to star. And then I don't think it's in this article here, but I believe they even announced the name of it, and that's going to be Tron Ares or Ares. It's Tron : ARES. So I don't know what the pronunciation is on that. But what are your...
So it does say, I'm assuming, because it does say on IMDb that's like Jared Leto's character's name. So it's probably
that's his name. Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, that makes sense. Well, actually, so that's really interesting. That it's on there. So I wonder... Okay, so I'm going to think about what I'm thinking about in my head. Give me your thoughts on this. Why don't we go with Donald first, then we'll circle back to TJ on this.
So you said Jared Leto's character is Ares, that he's like the title character then for the upcoming movie? TJ, is that what you're implying?
Yeah, I'm assuming so. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I should also mention real quick. There is no talk of any previous cast member returning in any form right now. So
that's disappointing.
Jeff Bridges, probably not. But Bruce Boxleiter, Garrett Hedlund, and Olivia Wilde are all at this time not attached to the project.
They should at least bring one person back to tie it back instead of it just being exposition that ties it together. That's going to be my only disappointment, is if there's no true ties to the previous movies aside from it being Tron. But I'm definitely interested in a Jared Leto-led Tron movie. That definitely interests me.
Mm-hmm. What do you think, TJ?
Well, as we had discussed with the first episode when when your whole Tron Legacy thing, I had said that I've never seen a Tron before. I actually have seen the first one as of 2 weeks ago. Again, I thought it's a good movie. I love the concept. It just looks like really, 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 really dated. Obviously, I need to watch Legacy at some point. I haven't seen that yet. Obviously, I know like Jeff Bridges in that one and everybody you just listed. I have a feeling I don't know what happens in Legacy, because Legacy is a direct sequel, right, to the first, the original?
Yeah, Legacy is a direct
Okay.
sequel, yeah.
So I could see them trying. They're probably. I would imagine they're going to go in the direction of trying to expand the universe and just tell a completely different story. I feel like maybe. So maybe they're not just like pigeonholed into this one like narrative.
So
It sounds cool.
So question here. So what I was thinking about earlier was when I went to you guys' opinions on it, was I was just thinking kind of about what Donald said, where it was like, okay, so he's the title character, but the movie is still called Tron, because for those who don't know, who haven't seen either, like, Tron is the name of the game, but it's also a name of a character in the film.
Yeah.
So it's kind of weird. It would be like if they had a movie called Harry Potter: Hermione Granger. Like, I don't know, like, it's just like, it's just a little weird. Like how much is it going to have to do with Tron then? The character, if anything. But what I want to throw to you guys is, what do you guys think about, what if this movie is entirely within the grid, and it doesn't even come to the real world at all? What do you guys think about that idea? Maybe this takes place 50 cycles after Tron Legacy, and it has nothing to do with it, and it's far in the future inside the grid. What do you guys think? Or what do you want to see from it? Either one.
Sorry, I just wanted to think on that for a second.
No problem.
I would definitely still be interested. It wouldn't turn me away, but I think, I don't know, it would be disappointing for it to have, again, no callbacks, no real connection to the old movies if it's so far past year-wise and cycle-wise. But I think, I don't know, I think it will be able to happily stand on its own. I think there's enough of a world there to build upon, but I'd still be disappointed.
TJ?
I don't really know like what I want, considering I haven't seen the second one yet. I think it'd be cool. Like, I do like the whole, like, I love that world, like, inside, like, you know, just like inside, like, I just equivalent it to be like inside like a computer and shit like that. I mean, that's basically what it is. But I just, like I said, the first one, even though it looks extremely dated, it just looks really cool. I don't know, like, I don't really know. I could see it like just being in that, what did you call it? What is it called?
In the grid?
Sorry.
Yeah.
In the grid? Yeah, I could just see it being like that. I don't really know, like, how would you explain that, though? Like how would, you know, wouldn't people be like, well, isn't he, like, a real person? So, like, how did he get in there? You know? So I feel like it has to, like, start off in the real world somehow. Yeah.
Unless it's something where the movie is just entirely, like, if the main character is a program instead of a user.
Yeah.
Like, we haven't seen that before. Yeah. That would be really interesting.
Yeah.
And so we have somebody in the chat just said, any news on Daft Punk doing the soundtrack? Nothing in the official news, but I remember when the rumors first started, basically they said the first thing that, before anything else is locked down, the first thing they want to do is get Daft Punk back. So even though it's not part of this official article here that we're looking at on THR, I would have to believe that there is no way that they would do this movie without Daft Punk returning, without bringing back the exact same CG style and stylistic stuff from Tron Legacy. I mean, the biggest hit from Tron Legacy was the visuals, the CG, and the soundtrack. That was the big three. Like, some of the performances were good too, but the big takeaways that everybody almost unanimously loved was the soundtrack and the look. And I got to imagine that that's definitely coming back. And then we also have another person saying, Jeff Bridges or Bruce Boxleitner, better be attached to at least one of them. Says, I feel like you need one of them for it really to be considered a Tron film. Yeah, if I had to guess out of one of those, I would say maybe Bruce Boxleitner would return. Because obviously in Tron Legacy, a big thing that was one of the very first instances of the de-aging. Obviously now that technology is way, way beyond anything that was possible when that movie was made. So I think maybe, you could bring back either one of them as de-aged. You know what I mean? I think that would work just fine, bringing back either one of those two. Probably not, like I said, probably not their real world counterparts, but but they're themselves in the grid, I think definitely, even if it's a flashback or if they somehow bring them back to now or whatever they want to do with it. So yeah, that's the news on Tron 3 there. Definitely moving forward, full steam ahead at Disney. And who knows, honestly, I think if this movie's a hit, I think you're probably going to see a lot more Tron. I think you're finally going to see big scale Tron stuff at the parks. I think you're probably going to see a big scale TV series on Disney Plus. It all just hinges on this film. But yeah, no, nevertheless, super excited, super excited to see what goes on with that. So let's go ahead and head on to our next piece of news, which is, like I teased a little bit earlier, it's some Captain Marvel news for you guys. Captain Marvel 2, which is that after apparently seeing a lot of choices, Captain Marvel sequel has landed Nia DaCosta, the director of the recent, well, do we call it recent? The unreleased, the as of now unreleased Candyman remake. That should have already been on Blu-ray for like 3 months, but has yet to even come out in theaters because of COVID. But, you know, the buzz out of Candyman was that it was fantastic, that it was really good, and the direction was great. I remember even seeing tweets that were like, you know, whichever studio picks up this director next, they're going to have like a good deal on their hands. So now we see that she is coming on board. And again, this is also big for diversity for Marvel Studios. It's going to be their first woman of color director. We have, obviously, Kate Shortland is directing Black Widow, or has directed Black Widow, I should say. All my terminologies are all off with the past and present tense because these movies are just in such limbo right now. But obviously, you know, this is a big diversity play, like I said, you know, having a woman of color come in and direct it. Now, what do you guys think about this news about her coming in? You know, obviously we haven't seen Candyman yet, so she's a little bit of an unknown property, but the buzz on her is really great. What do you guys think about this director being attached, coupled with the news that we talked about a couple weeks ago, that Captain Marvel 2 is going to be kind of like a Avengers 4.5, kind of like a Civil War scale type movie? What do you guys think about those two things with this director helming that big of a project? Oh, it goes to TJ first.
I think it's, you know, I'm just interested to see what she does with the movie. I think we were talking about it a few weeks ago. I forgot who said it. I think it was it Don Cheadle or Anthony Mackie? Something about you Anthony know, MCU Mackie. They have the diversity in the characters, but they don't have enough diversity behind the camera. And, you know, this is obviously, you know, clearly a step in the right direction towards that. I mean, was the only other black director they've had, or of any other, you know, race or nationality, Ryan Coogler in Black Panther? Was that the only one, I'm assuming?
Yes, until right now, because they have, oh my God, his name is going to kill me. The director of Shang-Chi is Asian American, I believe.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And I'm assuming Shang-Chi would obviously come out before this movie.
Yeah, definitely. Mm-hmm.
I just want to see, like we talked about a few weeks ago, I just want to see what happens in the movie. Because, again, if, you know, we were thinking, I think we talked about maybe this possibly being like another Civil War type thing, kind of like that. Mm-hmm. And we were talking about, you know, different characters you like to see, etc. Again, I think, you know, whatever, you know, how she can direct it in some type of way where it'll be new and original and, you know, not the same as like Civil War, stuff like that. I'm just very interested to see. She's not like, I'm just saying, she's just directing it, right? She's not writing it or anything.
Yeah, I believe she's just directing it.
Okay. Yeah, no, yeah. But no, I'm just interested to see what she does with it. Because she also, before she did Candyman, she also did this movie called Little Woods. I've been meaning to watch it because when this news broke, people were like, if you haven't seen Little Woods, she directed that. It came out in 2018. It's on Hulu right now. Apparently, it's very good. It stars Lily James and Tessa Thompson. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I'm just interested to see what she does. And I'm hoping it's, you know, hoping it's good.
Yeah. And then Donald, I'll get your thoughts in just a moment, but I just want to correct myself real quick. She would actually be the second woman of color to direct, because I forgot Eternals is being directed by Chloe Zhao, who is an Asian American woman. Yeah,
so they're really like. I mean, he obviously, obviously he said that like after they, had these directors picked out and everything.
Yeah, yeah.
But it was almost like okay, we're getting to it.
Yeah, so right now, just running through real quick. So we have Kate Shortland directing Black Widow, Chloe Zhao directing Eternals, Destin Daniel Cretton, whose name I forgot earlier, directing Shang-Chi, and then John Watts returning for Spider-Man, Sam Raimi for Doctor Strange, and then also New Zealand descent, Taika. So that's also, I mean, he's also a person of color. He's an indigenous, person from New Zealand. And then obviously Ryan Coogler returning, now Nia DaCosta, and then also Peyton Reed and James Gunn returning for Guardians and Ant-Man, respectively. So that's just a layout of the director landscape going forward here. But what do you think, Donald? What are your thoughts on this news and the thoughts on Captain Marvel being kind of a bigger MCU project?
I think, I don't know. I'm just gonna preface this with, I don't like Captain Marvel the character or the movie, and I'm hoping that Captain Marvel 2 will make me change my opinion on that. And maybe a woman behind the cam would do that.
When you saw her in Endgame, did you at least tolerate her in that movie?
No, I hate that's the worst part of Captain Marvel. She just came in, blew up the thing, disappeared.
Wow. Okay, so I just said that as an inside joke with me and TJ, but I was not expecting that answer. Okay, continue. Sorry.
Okay, and I don't know. It's been a poor portrayal, in my opinion, of her so far. I definitely can understand people disagreeing with me there, but I'd like to hope that with Captain Marvel 2, they can make me change my mind. Okay. More character development of her in there. Change my mind on that, and maybe with who directed the first one? I don't recall. Was it also a woman, or was it?
It was a man and a woman combo. It was I'm not even going to attempt to remember their name right now, but yeah, they were originally attached to the sequel, and then I guess Kevin Feige was just like, we kind of want to go a different direction with it. I think it was like something Bowden and
Anna Bowden and Ryan Fleck.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, and I think they're directing something else. Did they direct? I don't know. I'm losing my mind. I was thinking, like, did they direct Palm Springs? But I don't remember who did. No, they didn't.
They seem to direct a lot of things together. Like, it seems to be like they're like a Lord of Miller type like that.
Yeah, they're definitely a directing
where they
duo.
Quick question. Yeah. Are you, not to like put you on the spot or anything, this is actually for Donald. Sorry, Sean. I know your opinion. You're not, I'm assuming you're not one of those people that's like, Brie Larson should not be Captain Marvel, blah, 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 blah.
I don't like Brie Larson as an actor. Okay. But I'm not against her because she looks the part.
Okay. Yeah, okay. Because I know, like, there's, like, that thing where it's, like, people, that's, like, I feel like that was the biggest uproar out of, like, anything for a while was, like, we're signing this petition so Disney replaces Brie Larson as Captain Marvel. It's, like, the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen, but...
Yeah. I definitely was not on that bandwagon. I'm not a fan of the portrayal and such so far.
No, yeah.
And I think she's a little flat of an actress.
I think, like, me and Sean discussed this, like, again, with this news, like, last week or 2 weeks ago. The movie, like, I don't really remember it that well. I saw it like 3 or 4 times, and I remember decently liking it a decent amount. Again, I haven't seen it since then. So when did it come out? 2 years ago? I think.
It feels like 10 in quarantine years.
So I don't know, because I think we're going to review it again. We're going to review it once we're going through the MCU movies, so my opinion could change. But yeah, I'll have to look out for that. I remember the worst part was the amount of times Drew Law said Veers. I wanted her, like, it was awful. I was like, can we please have him say something else?
Yeah, that was awful. Control it, Veers. But okay, so just a quick question just on Brie Larson, because I don't know how much you've talked about it, but I'm a very big fan of hers as an actress. Do you think that it's something that you could like come around on her as the character with a better script, like with a better like film and characterization around her? You think that it's just she just kind of hasn't really gotten the opportunity to really come into her own as the character?
100%.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's what I figured you would say. I just wanted to make sure because I'm a big fan of Brie Larson as. I'm a big fan of Brie Larson as an actress. But and I'm also a big fan of the Captain Marvel character in the MCU, but I don't think her portrayal has been the best so far. I agree with you too. I think her in Endgame really kind of missed the mark.
Again, okay. The thing with Endgame though, like I said, coming out of Captain Marvel, I go, you have to you have to nuke her somehow. It's like you have to put her somewhere else so she doesn't because in Captain Marvel it was almost like I came out of going like, okay, well, what's gonna happen in Endgame because she seems very OP.
Yeah. And basically, that's exactly what it was. It was like honestly, I would put. Obviously, I think that Endgame is up here and Justice League is down there. But honestly, I mean, I would put on the exact same level as cheesiness, easy plot type thing as Captain Marvel coming and destroying Sanctuary 2, Thanos' ship. I would put that right up with Superman punching Steppenwolf. I'm also a big fan of justice. That. I would put that on the exact same level because it's just very
because it's you have to get rid of them somehow because they're just too powerful.
Yeah, and at least even in Superman's case, at least he was dead. Carol was just on vacation. She was just on a different planet. That was the only issue there. Hers was just about how quickly. Yeah, it was just about. It's a wonderful place. It's just TJ. One day you'll understand that reference. One day.
Okay.
You need to watch Agents of Shield. Literally watch the first 4 episodes and you'll understand that reference. What's it called? Real quick, Donald. Do you think Nick Fury at the end of Far From Home? Do you think that was the Tahiti simulation that he was looking at when he was vegged out on the spaceship? In the end credits?
I never thought of it, but
right?
Yeah, it very, very well could be. No, definitely.
I think that's what I think. Okay, so no spoilers for Agents of Shield, but I think we'll talk about it. So for our, I'll just talk right now. Our first episode is going to be our first episode of Planet Hero is going to be a deep dive into what we're expecting from DC Fandom later in the month. But our second episode, so next Thursday, because we want to finish the episodes, kind of get our thoughts together. We're going to be doing a full series, the entire show, all 7 seasons recap of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. for the second episode of Planet Hero. So keep your eyes out for that because we will definitely be talking about some theories and stuff. Also, even though the episode will already be out on this Thursday's thing, if we haven't finished it yet, we could also talk a little bit of speculation on what we think might happen in the finale. Just depends on the schedule there, but nevertheless, super interested in that. But yeah, with the Captain Marvel news, I just can't wait to see it. I would say that over everything else, especially if we're talking something on the scale of Civil War, where you're bringing together, almost maybe double digits Avengers characters into a big, 2.5 hour movie again. That'd be pretty cool.
I do just want to double back real quick before we jump off of the topic because I didn't get to entirely finish my thought because we jumped off onto Brie Larson.
Yeah.
I did look at her IMDb and I'm not super I don't know the word I want to use, comfortable with her as the what's her name? I lost it. Nia DaCosta. I'm not super comfortable with her as a director because she has such a small directorial portfolio so far. None of it is in the action genre from what I can tell. So I'm worried in that respect, but I think that I trust Kevin Feige and the powers that be at Marvel enough.
I feel like that's been that's been his his, I don't even know what the word would be. His motto, his MO.
Motif. Yeah, his MO, yeah.
Is just taking these, because Rooster Brothers, what did they do? Community, and that was the only thing they'd done? And then he was like, take these 2 movies. And Arrested
Development, but yeah. So what do you think about that, too? Even, because Russo's, they're mainly comedy, but I mean, even in Community, there was, the paintball episodes and some action stuff in there. What do you think about, somebody like... Peyton Reed. Peyton Reed was straight up comedy, and then when he took on the Ant-Man movies, there was a lot of action and stuff as well as comedy. But yeah, I mean, I think I understand where you're coming from because I feel like her being now, like you said, other than Candyman, I don't have her IMDb pulled up right in front of me. I don't have a lot of the information on her. But one
I do
thing,
have it pulled up right now.
okay, it just let me know. Is there anything that's not like horror genre? Is there anything that's not like that type? Because the only thing that concerns me is that yes, Feige's MO has always been, let me pull these directors in who are not familiar or aren't used to something on this scale, but they always kind of fit the property that they're going into. You know what I mean? Like, even the Russo brothers, even if you want to make this analogy of Community being this huge cast and then going into the Avengers movies and Winter Soldier and stuff, but Captain Marvel is not like a horror franchise. You know what I mean? Like, so it's just kind of a weird thing. Okay, so we have somebody in the chat here saying Brie Larson is better in more dramatic films like The Room and Glass Castle. I would absolutely agree. I think
Glass Castle was good.
I think Glass Castle. I used to have the Glass Castle poster up here. I think that movie is slept on more than anything else, especially if you're talking Woody Harrelson performances. I put his performance in that movie right up there with Three Billboards.
That was that movie was brutal, if I remember correctly.
Especially the two of them. Those two characters, Brie Larson and Woody Harrelson. I think it was great.
But to answer your question real quick, I mean, like, she's done so Candyman, and then Little Woods it's not defined as a horror. It says crime drama and then Western. And then she has like a short, and then she has 2 episodes. She directed 2 episodes of Top Boy. I'm not sure what that is. It's a show. Looks like
I think it's also a crime drama.
Yeah, crime drama thriller.
And then the other one was a family drama that she did.
So
so she does drama.
Maybe what it is that I think what we have here is right now we're at an equal kind of crossroads where it could be this director kind of making a switch over to these, or we could be seeing a switch in the tone and genre of the Captain Marvel movies. Maybe it's maybe it's more a thing of like, she has to solve something. You know what I mean? Maybe it's like, just if we're going super basic here with this discussion, obviously, like just saying like, oh, she's a crime director, let's put her in a crime movie. But like, what if there's like a thing that like Carol has to like solve and figure out, like on a running clock or something? Like, that would be something that I would like put some freaking intensity and like race against the clock into that movie. You know what I mean? I think that would be really cool. And
do we have a date for it yet?
Yes.
That's bound to change.
I know, but I'm just wondering, in the timeline of things, they're not going to slot things in prior. Whatnot. I'm trying to remember.
Late. It's 2022 right now. Now it's July 8th, 2022. I got to assume that's going to change. So that's going to be coming right after. That is going to be coming right after Black Panther 2, I believe.
Gotcha.
Doctor Strange will have happened at this point, right?
Oh yeah. Doctor Strange is like.
I'm not picturing the timeline in my head right now.
Yeah.
I think that maybe she. This is just pure speculation, but I think that because I remember there was a rumor a while ago about the X-Men being involved, like the Rogue taking her powers or anything. I think that this director, just from what she's done, I think she could tell a story like that very well, possibly of like her trying to cope with the fact of losing her powers, maybe trying to like solve the crime of her powers being stolen or whatever. I think that could be something she could do well.
Wouldn't it just be amazing if we got the correct Rogue backstory in the MCU, like involving Carol and stuff like that would be instead of just Magneto being like gray hair, like I just like TJ. I'm assuming you don't know about that, but like
no, I don't.
Rogue's power, like all that stuff and like the gray hair and stuff. It's all heavily intertwined with Carol Danvers with Captain Marvel.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah, so it's like Donald said. I mean, this kind of sets us up to be able to do that. And for a while, I've been saying I think the play to introduce the X-Men is introduce a couple of the characters in different movies. You know what I mean? Same way they did with like Black Panther being introduced in Civil War, Spider-Man in Civil War, that kind of thing. A Falcon in Winter Soldier, that kind of stuff. All right, so let's go ahead and move on to our second to last topic here. which is going to be that some real good news for me, and I'm sure the rest of us here, which is that John Wick Chapter 5 is officially in the works at Lionsgate. So we got the terrible, awful, horrible news that John Wick 4 had been delayed an entire year, but it looks like Lionsgate is looking to capitalize on that postponement by filming John Wick Chapter 4 and Chapter 5 back to back for a quick release of the two sequels kind of back to back. Now, what do you think about this news? Let's jump to Donald first on this one. What do you think about this news? And do you think this being set up as a 4 and 5 being filmed back to back, being a two-parter, do you think this is going to set up for a finale to this franchise, maybe a send-off for this character that everybody loves so much? What do you think?
Cool. Preface this with I've never seen a John Wick movie, but with the fact that they're doing them back to back, I could very well see it being like an Infinity War Endgame scenario where something awful happens to him at the end of 4. 5, he needs to basically just come back from it, and then I could definitely see a finale with 5.
I will tell you this. I will tell you that, yeah, he's already not in a good place. I will tell you this right now. Saying that these movies could build to an endgame level battle would not surprise me at all. I just mean because he hasn't seen them. Like TJ, think of the progression of these movies, like how each movie just builds, and like if you told me that 160,000 assassins were gonna pop out and have a showdown in the middle of the streets of New York, I would believe it. If you're telling me 2 movies from now we got to that level, I would freaking believe it.
Matrix did it first.
And that, Keanu did it first. Boom. Keanu wins everything. All right, so what are your thoughts on that, TJ? Same thing, what are your thoughts on them greenlighting a 5th one, releasing them filming and releasing back to back, and do you think this is going to be kind of a finale send-off for the character?
I hope not. I hope they make these until Keanu says I can't make them anymore. These movies, Donald, you gotta watch. These are very good. And like Sean said, it kind of builds. I feel like they expand the universe more and more with each movie. My personal favorite, honestly, it's probably, I don't know if it's an unpopular opinion. My personal favorite's the 3rd one, I think. I'd probably have to rewatch them again. I remember going like, I thought the best in the order was like 2, 3, 1. And I feel like usually people say 2 is the worst, I feel like.
Yeah.
But every single movie is just like fun action, and it's a simple plot. It's nothing like
exactly
ridiculous.
And
it's cool.
The most complex it's ever gotten is like the 3rd one, because they brought everything from the first 2 back and then also added Halle Berry. Like that was like the most complicated it got.
It was really
like
good
explaining
in that
her.
movie,
Yeah, she is fantastic. Yeah. God damn, I would love to, if this is going to be the end of the John Wick thing, give her a franchise. Make her do 1 and 2, because not to spoil the franchise, but Halle Berry is on another level of the infrastructure. Like I'll say she's a manager of sorts in this world. Show me a movie. What is that person's life like? Like for another character who's on that level, Ian McShane's Winston. Like I would love a Winston TV show. Just like show.
Give me a Lance Reddick TV show. He's great.
Exactly, just the concierge, just a show about the concierge. You're like, oh my god, that would be amazing.
So is Halle Berry like the Q of John Wick then?
No. She's it's a whole.
She's the Felix to John Wick.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it. Yeah, but not like America, because they're all over the globe. But
but also more than what Felix ever does in any of the James Bond movies. Yeah, she does more in the 3rd one.
Yeah, and they're really great. Seriously, I would watch it. I mean, they're like he said. I mean, it's not about which one is the bad one or which one is worse. It's about whenever you like hear John Wick, you're like, oh, which ones do you like? No, it's what is your order? Because it's like they're all just so good. Like TJ said, I originally was like, I would put it 2, 3, 1. You know what I mean? Because I really like 2. Now I'm much closer to like 3, 2, 1. Like I just think they just get better and better because 3 to me is the most rewatchable of all of them. And another thing, we're just turning this into a quick get Donald to watch these movies
review.
Yeah, exactly. Like another thing too is the supporting cast that they assemble for these films is like amazing. Like you asked who the Q was. The answer is there's like 5 different Qs in each movie. Like somebody gives him the guns, then somebody gives him the suits, then somebody gives him the grenade launchers. Then somebody's like, "Oh, you need this? You need a book? Here's all the you know what I mean?" Like, and they're all different. It's like you have like in the first movie, you have Willem Dafoe in a fantastic action role.
Willem Dafoe's in them. I'm sold. That's all.
Well, yeah, he's in them. And then, but the main thing to me is what's it called? Is Winston. I just think out of it, even more than John to me, I just think Winston is the best character in this franchise. I mean, Ian McShane has deserved an action franchise for a long time, and the fact that he just gets to be this just like he walks in a room and everybody just like shuts up and like he can snap his, no pun intended, he can snap his fingers and make anything happen type of guy, and he just has like the charisma and the confidence to pull that off. Like it's just it's so good. I want to watch him right now.
They're all on if you have HBO. Oh, actually, they're probably not all on HBO. I think a few of them are though.
There you go.
Maybe one or two.
I think you can find all 3 of them on streaming services. Like I think they're all 3 in some way or another on them. I just don't know which ones. But yeah, so awesome news coming out of John Wick there. I like TJ said, I hope this is not a finale. It kind of sounds like it might be, at least for the main movies. But you know they have the hotel show that they're working on. They have a bunch of different stuff. There's no way that with the struggles that everybody's having in the movie studios and movie theater landscape, that Lionsgate is going to give up this money making machine, like just for the sake of the story.
Real quick, they can also do it on a very minimal budget. The budgets are never like
the first movie.
I don't even think they've maxed out over 50 million.
No, the first movie was like I think 17 million, and then I think the third movie was up to like 35. But then they make like 300 million because they're so good, and it's like they're like dirt cheap to make. It's like the Blumhouse model, but for action.
Exactly. Movies. Yes.
But yeah,
how much does Keanu make for these movies? Because that sounds like
I don't
really
know
cheap.
If I had to guess,
honestly,
for the first one, probably very little. For the second 2, and then these last 2, I would say probably a lot. It's probably most of the budget.
I wouldn't be surprised if he was like, well, I'll take a discount because I just like doing
exactly. Yeah, he's probably like, I get to learn how to do guns and shoot people.
If you've ever seen his training video,
oh my god! The one of him and Halle Berry training for the third one. He's a killer, man. He's the nicest killer in the world. He's like Barry. That's what he's like. He's like the real life Barry. All right, so let's go ahead and move on. So like we talked about, it's been a while since we've done the show here. Okay, I just want to read out. There's somebody in the chat said, I just think filming Wick 4 and 5 back to back will have great momentum to a satisfying finale for number 5. So yeah, I think when you get that news that you're filming two of them back to back, it's kind of the same thing with Mission Impossible right now. They're filming, 8 and 9 back to back. They haven't said that it's the end of that franchise, but it's been around. It's a franchise that's been around. Tom Cruise has been doing them for 25 years. You know what I mean? I think it's probably about time, but, yeah. All right. So let's go ahead and jump right in. Like we said, it's been a while since we've been on. So what happened since our last show was the Emmy nominations came out. So we are going to go ahead and break down some of the major categories here. Now, do you guys have them pulled up? I would just Google.
They're PDF, but it's 61 pages.
Oh my gosh, that's a lot of pages.
Yeah.
There's a Rotten Tomatoes link here. Send it. Live TV, folks. Live TV.
So which link should I go to?
Just Google Emmy nominations and then go to the Rotten Tomatoes link. That seems to be the best one, the way that it's laid out. And then we'll just go through them. We'll go through a couple of them. Yeah. All right. So let me know when you guys have that pulled up. The 2020 Emmy nominations on Rotten Tomatoes. And we'll go through each nomination. We'll talk about, who we want to see win. And, maybe if there's shows that one of us has watched and the other ones haven't, or vice versa, whatever.
Okay.
I have it up. Donald, you got it up?
My computer's been a little slow, but yeah, we're getting there. Yeah, we're here.
No problem. So let's just kick things right off with big title of the night, which is Outstanding Drama Series. So in this, we have a couple of big surprises. I'll say in total, the nominations have a couple of big surprises. And really, to me, I haven't looked at all of them, but to me, there's one huge snub that I will talk about. But let's go Outstanding Drama first. You start off with Succession, Stranger Things, Ozark, The Mandalorian, Killing Eve, Handmaid's Tale, The Crown, and Better Call Saul. So out of that, you have a lot of the same, nominee award bait titles that we've seen for the last 5 years, if not more. The Crown is almost consistently every year it's on nominated. Handmaid's Tale is definitely nominated every year. Killing Eve, same thing. Ozark, same thing. And then I feel like Succession just came bam out the gate so quick. I just think there was no way it wasn't going to get nominated. Same thing. Better Call Saul, nominated almost every single year. I would love to see it win this year. But let's talk about the big surprise this year, which is for Outstanding Drama Series. You have Stranger Things, and more importantly, The Mandalorian being nominated for, this does not say Outstanding, genre drama series. This is Outstanding Drama Series for a television show. And you got Stranger Things and Mandalorian making the cut. What are your guys' thoughts on that? And more importantly, who do you guys, give me your personal pick on who you want to win this category, and also who you think is going to win if it's different.
Would you like to go first, Donald, or do you want me to go?
You can go first.
Okay. Okay, well, who I want to win, I want Better Call Saul to win. Sean, I'm catching up. I'm one last episode of season 4, and then I'm on to season 5.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's good.
Stranger Things, I just don't... season 3 was fine.
Yeah.
I don't know if it really, not to say it didn't deserve, that the actors were good enough for anything. I just don't think anything will ever beat the first season of that show. Ozark, you've sang its praises. I know it's very good. Still haven't watched it. Haven't seen The Crown, haven't seen Handmaid's Tale, haven't seen Killing Eve, and I haven't seen Succession. I heard Succession is very good. It's on HBO, I believe. Mandalorian, I don't think it's that's a really good, I love that it got nominated. Yeah. Something that's a Star Wars show, first Star Wars show, their first live action Star Wars show. I want Better Call Saul to win because I think it deserves it. And, like you said, I was very hesitant on watching it, and you were telling me, some people regarding it as saying it's better than Breaking Bad. I can definitely see how it would be better than Breaking Bad. I don't know if it's there yet, but for me at least.
You still got a season to go.
I know. Mm-hmm. But yeah, if I were to pick who I want to win, who I think is going to win, I think it'd be Better Call Saul. And then if there was a runner-up second place, I think it would probably go to from what you've been telling me, I think it would go to Ozark.
Okay. Yeah. All right, so let's go to Donald. Donald, what do you think here?
Okay, there's no way I talk about this without my extremely controversial opinion coming out, so I'm just going to start with it. I don't like Breaking Bad that much, and there's no way I can talk about Better Call Saul without saying that.
Have you seen Better Call Saul?
Have you seen Better Call Saul?
I've seen one episode, I was like, it's not for me.
So how much of Breaking Bad have you seen?
Whole thing. Took me 5 years to watch it. Took me forever.
Wow. Okay. That's okay. I would say, I mean, if you watch the whole thing of, to me, like I said, I think that Better Call Saul is a better show. And I don't just mean that by like, oh, it's not as like grim and depressing. I just think that Better Call Saul is a more well-rounded show. I think Better Call Saul.
You think it has less gaps? Like, Breaking Bad has those off episodes.
It's like Better Call Saul is a tighter story than Breaking Bad. Yeah. I think it has possibly better characters than Breaking Bad. And like I said, I just think it's more well-rounded. I just think it's an easier show to watch. Because they don't go too far in one direction without then like pulling it back the other way. You know what I mean? Like there'd be an episode where it's like super comedy oriented, but then like somebody gets their head decapitated at the end of it. But like that never even actually happened in the show, but that's just like an example. But yeah, okay. So sorry, I'll continue. I will never not sing the praises of Better Call Saul to get everybody to watch it.
I have heard amazing things about Better Call Saul. It is something that maybe one day I'll watch when I have the time, because I have a watch list like 40 things long that I need to get.
As we all do. Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly.
The boys first, though. The boys first.
The boys. Okay. Yes. I'll put the boys and Umbrella Academy towards the top.
Yeah, I was gonna say that too. Yeah.
So yeah, Better Call Saul. I've heard great things. This is 97% of Rotten Tomatoes. So just looking at the numbers, I figure Better Call Saul is probably going to win. Plus, wasn't the last season its last season?
No, it's got one more. So this next one is going to be the last one. Yep.
Okay. Well, so I'm my thought process is Better Call Saul is going to win. My hope is going to be The Mandalorian, because out of the two things I've seen on this list, it's the one I much prefer. Mandalorian was amazing. Stranger Things season 3 is fine. Like TJ said, season 1 was the best of it. It's
just hard to compete. You know what I mean, with yourself when you come out of the gate that strong.
I think a quick ranking of it would be season 1, season 3, season 2. I thought season 2 was the least.
Yeah, I'd agree. I'd go with that same ranking as well. Yep, I think season 3 has some really, really great stuff in it. Especially with what's his name, Murray. Murray having like the expanded role, I think was really funny. Mm-hmm. But I just think season 1 was just a whole nother ballpark. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
All right.
So on the rest of the list, I just want to mention I like Ozark, Killing Eve, Handmaid's Tale. I've heard of those and heard good things about them, but not on the same level that I've heard things about Better Call Saul and The Crown and Succession. I've never heard of, so I feel like they're not going to win, or they will win because I've never heard of them.
Succession, I feel like, is not even like a low key. Like, I feel like after Game of Thrones. Okay, also, actually, I don't know if if this is what you're referring to, Sean. I don't even know if it qualifies. Where is Watchmen?
Oh, it's on there. No, we'll get there. It was nominated.
It's not a drama?
No. We'll get there. It was nominated.
Okay.
It was, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just not in this category.
But Succession is one of those shows that I think HBO is churning out that people like. I feel like HBO just now has a track record of just turning out great shows and shows in general. After Game of Thrones, but they haven't found their Game of Thrones-esque show that's like can live up to the hype that Game of Thrones was. But this show, and I think there's another show that they have. I forget what it's called. That are very good. So I'm not really surprised that it's on here.
So I would go with so tough. So flip side of that, I've seen all but 2 of these. So I refuse to watch Handmaid's Tale, and I have not checked out.
Pretty brutal, isn't it? That's what I've heard.
I just don't like Elizabeth Moss. I don't.
You don't?
Her. No. What's it called? Invisible Man was the exception that proves the rule.
Okay.
Because I was like, oh, I didn't really hate her in this. I was never a big fan of the Peggy character on Mad Men, so I think that was it. I just not a really big fan of her.
Gotta watch that. That's another thing I gotta watch.
Like I get it, but it's one of those things of like, she gives me like what's her name, Lena Dunham vibes, where I'm like, all right, we get it.
Yeah,
like,
but Lena Dunham doesn't walk up to Brad Pitt on the red carpet and just kiss him randomly.
Yeah,
nobody said anything.
It's just So I have not watched. I have not watched Handmaid's Tale. And then Killing Eve, I've heard great things about. Jodie Comer, Sandra Oh has won a couple. I think she's won once, been nominated a bunch of times for it.
I didn't realize that was Sandra Oh. Looking at the poster.
Yeah, that was what she won for last year. I think she won last year.
Oh, okay.
Maybe the year before, but yeah. But then the other ones, I've seen all the other ones. So Succession, I think, is really, really good. I think it is not Succession's year yet. I think it needs some more time to prove itself as like a mainstay, great show.
How many seasons of it? Is there 2 or 1?
I think it's 2. So this would be nominated for its 2nd season, and it was already renewed and stuff. For me, I mean, I think we already talked about Stranger Things. The Crown, I really enjoyed The Crown. It was the first time that they have switched the roles. So for those who don't know, it's the show about the royal family, about Queen Elizabeth's life. And every 2 years, they switch out the entire cast to make them older. This was season 3, so this was the first year that it was Olivia Colman playing the Queen. I think, for me at least, I think season 3 was not the best season of the show, but I think it had the best acting of the show. I think the actors were great in this. And that's not to take away from Claire Foy or Matt Smith. I think they were incredible in the first 2 seasons. But I just don't think I don't think season 3 was strong enough to get this. So for me, I think it just, and then Mando, obviously great, but I don't really think it has a shot. I think it just comes down to Ozark and Better Call Saul. And I can't even use the excuse of like, oh, it's their last show, or like, oh, it's going to be, because both of them are ending next year. So it's like, it's kind of tough, but I think it's going to be between the two of them. For me, I think if you're talking season to season, head to head, I think you'd have to give it to Better Call Saul. Because I love Ozark. I think it's fantastic. I think Ozark and Better Call Saul are the 2 best shows on TV right now. Period. End of discussion. Not even close to anything else. But I think if you're talking head to head, season to season, and I don't know if that's how they vote for the Emmys. I don't know it. I don't know that situation as well as I know the Academy situation. But I would go with Better Call Saul. I just think it was the better show. All right, so let's go here to...
I have 2 quick questions before we move on.
Yeah, absolutely.
What is the cutoff date for like things that can be nominated? Is it just anything in 2020 or like...
I think so. I think it has to have its season premiere in 2019, yeah.
Oh, season premiere in 2019. Okay.
Yeah.
Then follow-up question. Is there a show that you guys would put on there that isn't on there that you think should have been nominated?
That's tricky. I think just gut right now. Let me make sure that it wasn't. No. I'd put Barry on that list.
Oh my god.
I'd put Barry.
Did that come out? That was 2020?
Well, it's 2019.
That season?
It's the Emmys.
Oh, 2019. Right. Okay, then yes, I would agree with that, Barry.
Yeah, I'd put Barry on there. I don't know. No, I would say I wouldn't put that in comedy. So I would say that would be drama. Yeah. So
it wouldn't have a shot, but it'd be nice.
Yeah. Well, you say that, but yeah. I mean, what's it called? Bill Hader and Henry Winkler win like every single year.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So like.
Oh, okay.
But yeah. So let's go ahead. I would say Barry. Yeah. Let's go ahead and move on to the comedies here, and then we'll do a couple more categories before we wrap up the Emmy talk. So now we'll just pick up the pace. So I'll just read them off, and then we'll go through and just say what we think and what we want. So let's go with here. First off, in the Outstanding Comedy Series, we have Curb Your Enthusiasm, followed by Netflix's Dead to Me, The Good Place, HBO's Insecure, Kaminsky Method, Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, Schitt's Creek, and What We Do in the Shadows. So out of those, let's go with Donald first. What do you think should win, and what do you think will win?
Should have started with me. I've never seen any of these. I haven't heard of most of them.
Oh my gosh!
I've seen a couple scenes from Curb Your Enthusiasm, and the fact that Brooklyn Nine-Nine isn't on here is blasphemy.
Wow. That show sucks. No, I've never even seen it.
I've only seen the first 2.5 seasons of Curb so far. What I think will win is Marvelous Miss Maisel, because I feel like that show cleans up every year.
That's another one that I'm.
Am I wrong?
So
it
over
does. It does.
It does.
Not
But
a
I'm
new
so
show?
over it.
What I do think should win is The Good Place. I've never seen it. You sing its praises all the time. It just ended right after 4 seasons.
Yeah.
And I think it's due. I think it's due. Like you said, I've never seen it, but everybody that has talked about it says it was great. It was amazing.
Actually, I've heard a lot of good things about The Good Place.
Yeah.
Now that I think about it.
And that's
Does anybody watch the Comiskey Method? Is that like a show people watch?
No, I haven't. But it's like I didn't even know that it.
No,
like,
just
existed.
in general. Like, do people watch it?
I guess because
That's
I
what
think
I'm wondering.
what's his name? Michael Douglas won.
No,
I
Michael
think.
Douglas is like the main character.
Yeah, he
I'm pretty
won
sure.
a couple years ago, I think, for it.
Yeah.
I know. I think it's gonna have one more season. I think.
Yeah. Oh, and
after
Alan
this.
Arkin. Wow.
Yeah.
Emily Osment's in it. What?
Yeah. So I all right. I'm gonna go. What I want to win is The Good Place.
Okay.
What I think will win, I think, is The Good Place.
Oh wow. Okay.
But what I'm struggling with is just I am like I have been a lifelong fan of Curb, and I think season 10 was easily single-handedly the best season that show has ever had in its over 20-year run. I think season 10 was just and with all this with COVID and stuff, season 11 is going to be forget it. A whole season of Curb Your Enthusiasm about Larry living in COVID, forget it. But that's why it pains me so much, because I love that show so much, and I think it was its best season. But Good Place, you got to give it to The Good Place for having the what do you want to call it? The wherewithal, right? To say 4 seasons and that's it. 4 seasons and we're bouncing. And that's when, if you guys haven't seen it, that show is 4 seasons long, 12 episodes a season. So they're 26-minute episodes. So it's literally would take you like a day,
a weekend.
Yeah, exactly. Like to watch the whole show. And the whole thing is on. Oh well, it was on Hulu. I think now it's on Peacock. But if you have a VPN, go for it. Yeah, that's what I think. I think it's going to be The Good Place. I think people are getting tired of Miss Maisel. I think they're getting tired of her. All right, so now here we go with the.
Can we? Sorry, after limited series, can we quickly touch on television movie as well? Sorry.
Oh yeah, we're gonna do these main categories, then the main acting categories. So we'll get there. So here we go with the what I call the no chance category, which or no competition category, which is the outstanding limited series, which has Hulu's Little Fires Everywhere, Hulu's Mrs. America, sorry, Netflix's Unbelievable, and then Netflix's Unorthodox, and HBO's Watchmen.
Now, I'm interested to hear what Donald has to say, because I think me and Sean both know what camp we're in.
Yeah, so I'll just hop in first. I'll just go first with this. Should win, will win is going to be Watchmen. Forget it. It's cinched up. There is no way. I think, as I said, Better Call Saul and Ozark are the 2 single-handedly best television shows on TV right now, only because Watchmen is not on TV right now. I think Watchmen is the best show to exist in the past 10 years of television. I think Watchmen was ridiculously good. What do you think, Donald?
I haven't seen any of them.
Oh my God! You gotta see. Do you have HBO?
You haven't even seen Watchmen?
No. I haven't seen the movie Watchmen either.
I had to make sure to watch the movie. I hadn't seen it before I watched the show, so I had to watch the movie before I watched the show.
I'm
Watchmen is so good.
I'm calling it right now. Our first review, our first non-MCU review for Planet Hero is going to be Watchmen, the movie, and then you'll watch the show, because that is. Have you read the comic book?
Nope.
Okay, in his defense, I also didn't finish the comic. I started it, but I haven't finished it.
Let me also say this, that I've gone through every Emmy nomination, and looking at all the shows, there's only two shows that I've seen out of the whole rest of the list.
Well, it's okay.
I mean, shows are harder to keep up with, I feel, than movies. Because a movie is a tightly contained 2-hour story, whereas a show is, however many seasons, however long the episodes
That's
are.
true.
But I would literally get a free trial of HBO. It's only 8 episodes. That's it. Limited. Done. 1 season.
Yeah,
I would
that's it.
get a free trial of HBO or whatever they're doing now. Watch the episode and then cancel the trial.
I don't think I've ever seen an HBO show.
You never seen Game of
Bro.
Thrones?
No.
Oh my gosh, you're killing TJ over there, man.
Do you know how much anime I watch? I don't have time to watch anything else.
You gotta watch
Oh my
Barry too.
gosh.
Barry's good. Oh
Barry's
my gosh.
fantastic, yeah. All right, so let's go here with outstanding television movie. I think I already know why TJ wants us to talk about this so much because I know which one he's going to talk about. Let's go.
Do you?
I think so. Yeah, definitely. I know
Okay.
exactly which one. All right, so I would say kind of a weaker category. Not a weaker category, I should say. There's some big ones here, but overall kind of like, whatever. So the first one I would say is Netflix's American Son. Then you have HBO's Bad Education. Netflix's Dolly Parton's Heartstrings Season 1.
It's like, what is that?
Must have missed that one. Must have missed the invitation in the mail. Then we have El Camino, a Breaking Bad movie. Then we have Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt. Kimmy versus the Reverend. I guess that's a prequel or a sequel or something to the.
Have you ever watched that show? I never watched it.
I watched the first season of it. And then
Was
I was
it?
like,
Was it good or was it?
I was like, I'll just watch Ellie Kemper on The Office. I was like, I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm good.
Yeah.
Okay, so TJ, why is Bad Education the best movie that I haven't seen this year?
Because everybody's really amazing in it.
That's what you were
Hugh
going to talk about,
Jackman's really
right?
good in it. Yes.
Yeah.
Hugh Jackman's very good. I didn't even know that it was. When I saw it on here, I was kind of surprised because I was like, I know it only came out on HBO, like it wasn't like in theaters or anything. Because it came out when theaters were still open. But it didn't even like occur to me that it would be considered like a television movie. Again, El Camino, great, amazing wrap up to Jesse's story. Again, Vince Gilligan is just like a master with that world and
It's crazy.
everything that he does in it. But Bad Education is a very compelling. It's I also like that, like those stories about finance fraud and stuff like that. They're just like anything like again, obviously Wolf of Wall Street behind me, Big Short,
Big
et cetera,
Adam
stuff
McKay
like that.
fan. Big Adam McKay fan.
Not so much Vice, but
Ooh. let me be your vice, or I want you to be my vice.
but Bad Education. If again, I would literally not subscribe, free trial. Once you're done with Watchmen, Donald, you go watch Bad Education for an hour 45 minutes.
Yeah,
that's all you need.
He said total. That's 9 hours and 45 minutes of HBO. Yeah. That's it. That's all you need.
I'm guessing the only thing you've seen on here is El Camino. I guess both of you, maybe.
Yeah. So
you didn't like Breaking Bad, so I guess
I haven't seen any of them.
Yeah. So I'll just go with. I think what I want to win, I would say El Camino, just because, like you said, I think it was just kind of the whole nature of it. There was kind of this surprise, nobody knew about thing, and then it being so good, what do you want to say? Aaron Paul being noticeably 10 years older aside, I think it was just really, really, really great. Like you said, Vince Gilligan is just a freaking crazy person of a director. Like, he's just so good. I don't even understand how he does it. What I think will win, I think I'd go with Bad Education, just because what you've said and what I've heard and just the cast and everything around it. I think I actually might watch Bad Education tonight. I think I might watch that right after this.
Good idea.
All right, so let's go ahead and move through. Let's just breeze right through. We'll go up to... We'll cherry pick here. So let's start off with the two big ones that we'll definitely talk about, which is Outstanding Lead Actress in a Drama Series, which is Olivia Colman for The Crown, Zendaya for Euphoria, Jodie Comer for Killing Eve, Sandra Oh for Killing Eve, Jennifer Aniston for The Morning Show, and Laura Linney for Ozark. So let's just go real quick. Who do you think, Donald, just based off of, even if you haven't seen him, just based off, things you've heard, who do you think's going to take this one?
Yeah.
Where are we looking at? Lead actress in
in
something
a
or other?
drama.
In a drama series, yeah.
Let's go with Sandra Oh. I'm just picking a
Okay.
name. I don't know.
Well, that's not. We picked a good name because she
Yeah.
is. Everybody like loves her in that. Yes. So thank you, Michelle in chat for bringing that up because I almost went right over it. But this is the category that I was talking about with the biggest snub, I think, in the entire Emmys is the
Yeah.
fact that what's her name, Ray, right? Ray Seahorn was not nominated for her portrayal of Kim Wexler this year. Is outrageous. That is
Yeah.
absolutely ridiculous.
Is Bob's not even nominated,
Bob
is he?
Odenkirk isn't even nominated for Best Actor.
Yeah.
It's like what?
Yeah.
What kind
You're
of
gonna lose me for a second.
okay?
Okay.
What kind of a cuckoo bananas are we dealing with here?
I don't know.
Like,
I just got to this. I got to the episode they're arguing. You probably remember this. It's episode 9 of season 4. They're arguing on top of the parking garage.
Oh yeah.
I was like, oh my god, this is amazing. I think. Well, who do you think it's going to go to?
I think it's going to go to who do I think it's going to go to? I think let me say who I want. I want Laura Linney for Ozark. I'm going to go with Zendaya for Euphoria. That's who I'm going to go with. I think it's going to be Zendaya for Euphoria.
I don't know if it was because maybe I just was tired or something. I tried watching that show and I got like so anxious and like literally the first 10 minutes I was like, I have to turn this off. I haven't tried watching it since. I heard it's really good. I want Zendaya to win and I think she will win. Just from what I've heard about the show. I'm sure Olivia Colman is amazing in The Crown.
Yeah.
I'm sure they're all amazing in every show they're in. The only person like I don't know. Not that like I'm sure like Jennifer Aniston and Steve Carell are amazing in the morning show, but that's a show that I've just not heard like since it came out, I haven't heard like anything about it. You know?
Yeah. I think it was just kind of I don't know. The whole Apple TV Plus thing is ridiculous, but on that, let's move on to lead actor in drama, which again we have to talk about the ridiculous snub of Bob Odenkirk not getting nominated for Saul. Which is just baffling. Actually, now that we're looking at these two, I'm going to say even more so. I think Saul is going to take Best Drama because the cast is like nowhere to be seen. Like you don't even have what's it called? Let me just scroll down here real quick. Do we even have? No, we don't even have any supporting people from. Oh no, okay. So Giancarlo Esposito from Better Call Saul.
I mean, that's a given. You just.
But also not even who I would nominate it for Best Supporting. I would put I think Jonathan Banks. I think Mike had a better season than Gus this year. Yeah.
Well, I haven't seen season 5, so I guess I don't know.
That's true. Yeah, but I just think Mike had way more powerful like acting to do. I guess I would say. Good moments all in all. But yeah. So let's start with Steve Carell for The Morning Show, Jason Bateman for Ozark, Billy Porter for Pose, Brian Cox for Succession, Jeremy Strong for Succession, and then seemingly every year he's nominated Sterling K. Brown for This Is Us. So first off, I'll just go should and want Jason Bateman for Ozark. I think that Marty Byrde is one of the best characters on television right now. I think he's the best written character on television. And just Jason Bateman in general, he's a freak of nature when it comes to making that show. He freaking directs, produces, writes, and is the lead character. Just give him all the awards. What do you think, TJ?
I think Jason Bateman will win. I don't really have a horse in this race because I haven't seen any of these shows. Has Sterling K. Brown ever won for This Is Us?
Yeah, he won last year. Oh,
okay,
no,
so as long as he's won.
No, he hasn't. Sorry. He has never won? Question mark. But he's like I said, he's nominated almost every year. So
I could see him winning.
Yeah, because isn't
if
it
he hasn't
over?
won yet.
Didn't This Is Us
Is
end?
it? Oh, I don't know. All I know is people love that show.
I think
it was
I think
show.
If This Is Us cancellation pending because I don't know, but he might pull it if it's like the last chance that he has. He might pull it out. Donald, do you have any input or who you think
Any
it might be?
thoughts?
Until we talk about supporting comedy series, I have no words.
Okay.
All right, well,
What?
let's just jump right down.
Yeah.
Here. So let's just go right to. Well, I'll say this right now, really quick. Also, outstanding lead actor in a limited series or drama. Mark Ruffalo was really good, and I know this much is true. I'm sure Hugh was great in Bad Education. It's got to be Jeremy Irons. That him as Ozymandias was
Yeah.
ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. Okay. TJ, who do you say for outstanding supporting in a drama? Would you give it to Esposito? I think so.
Yeah.
That's who for who is nominated, I would give it to him. Because Jeffrey Wright is like, all right, like, whatever. Well, you're good in what? Like, Westworld.
Oh, Westworld just
like,
lost me.
Yeah, it's like he's a great actor saddled by a show that's fucking, I can't even abide it. Okay, so, Donald, you said outstanding supporting?
Yeah, for comedy series.
Okay, let's go with. Let me just throw it up on the screen. All right, Donald, who are you going with in here?
For for the supporting in comedy series?
Yeah.
So, Betty Gilpin in Glow is amazing. She's one of my favorite actresses.
That show is very good.
I love it. It's such a good show.
Saturday Night Live. You can like. That didn't even like occur to me that would be like a show you'd be nominated for.
Yeah, there's tons of nominations. Yeah, Brad Pitt's nominated for playing Fauci in that one sketch.
It's a show you shouldn't be nominated for.
Yeah. Yeah, but out of the two that are, like, I mean, I'm not a big Kate McKinnon fan, but, like, Cecily Strong is always really good on SNL. But for this category, I have heard that. I've heard that Betty Gilpin is fantastic. I have not seen Glow.
Would recommend.
It's on the watch list. I'll put it at the top. But I think Darcy Carden has got to win for Janet on The Good Place. I mean, that's like she is ridiculous. But yeah, with that, I mean, are there any other major categories that either of you guys want to specifically talk about? Oh, let's talk about guest. Let's talk about guest stars. So just real quick, outstanding guest star in a drama series. Is you have Giancarlo Esposito for Mandalorian as Moff Gideon. What do you think?
Is that really a guest star?
It's so ill-defined, I feel like.
Yeah. Like guest star I think of as like they're on one episode.
Yeah.
Well, I guess was the only one? No, he's in 2.
2, yeah.
Yeah, 7 and 8.
Yeah, so like see then we have for guest actor in a comedy, we have Adam Driver for hosting SNL, Eddie Murphy for hosting SNL, Brad Pitt for SNL.
Isn't The Outsider, isn't that like Jason Bateman's show along with on HBO along with
I don't know. I haven't seen it. Yeah, isn't it Joel Edgerton?
No, no. Krennic.
Oh, Ben Mendelsohn. Yeah. Why was I thinking Joel Edgerton?
I don't know.
I'm thinking of that movie they did together, The Gift. That one. That's what I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
Great movie. I don't know if he's.
I've never seen it, but
guest star or what.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I think that'll like, and then you got like variety talk show. Like, who gives a crap? I think variety talk show. I think it should be John Oliver. I think he's consistently the best show.
Yeah, I think he's exactly.
Yeah.
I would agree.
Yeah, John Oliver's great.
Yeah, and then outstanding competition program. I couldn't give 2 craps. I guess Masked Singer.
If Top Chef was on there, would you be like, oh, Top Chef?
Top Chef is on there. It's nominated.
Oh,
Is it?
that's the Gordon Ramsay one, right?
No. That's like the Bravo one. That's like the only show that I don't watch.
Oh.
That's like the worst chef show.
I thought that you liked that one.
No, I've never even seen it.
How is the floor is lava not?
You're
on
thinking
there?
of MasterChef. How is the floor is lava not on
MasterChef.
here? I mean, that was just like such dumb
It's
fun.
a Netflix show, right?
Yeah, that was just such dumb fun. You know what else was such dumb fun? Do you guys know?
No, what?
I have an answer, but it's probably not the answer you're looking for.
This show that we
I
just
knew he was
did.
gonna say that.
Look at that. All right. So, do you guys have anything else you guys want to talk about here before I wrap things up?
I have two things I want to say.
Go for it.
Andre Braugher should definitely win for the supporting actor for Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Amazing show, my favorite show at the moment.
Yeah. I've heard he's really good on that too.
And this is very much unrelated to anything we've talked about today. But you both have Samsung TVs, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Now I do. I've had them for like 2 days.
Okay. So Sean, have you ever gone and looked at the channels they have, as the TV that you can watch on there?
What are you talking about? Like the baked in channels?
Yeah.
The only one it always defaults to is the cooking one.
There's this one that's all game shows. It is so bad. There are so many terrible game shows.
Yes, when I explored it one day. Yeah, I have seen that. Yeah, it's the worst.
Is there any way to stop it from defaulting to those?
Absolutely not. Never. I delete it every time I turn on my TV, and then the next time I turn it on, it's back.
Okay.
Oh, let's work a PSA in here. TJ, did you turn off motion smoothing?
I did. That's the first thing I did, actually.
Boom. That's right. All right, make sure you turn off motion smoothing on your televisions.
It's called something
turn it
else,
off.
Right?
It's called active something or other. Oh, I want to. Somebody sent in the chat way earlier on. Just want to get your thoughts. Have either of you seen Stuber? Somebody wanted to know if we've seen it or what our thoughts were.
Stuber.
No, but I've heard it's meh.
Wait.
It's on Camille and
Batista.
Dave Batista, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I've seen Stuber, and I really like it. Honestly, I thought it was really.
Is
good.
It on something? Is it streaming?
I'm not sure. It might be.
Great movie.
But yeah, no, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was just such, like we said, dumb fun. I think Camille was really, really good. But yeah,
the scene when they're in the veterinarian or whatever, I think it is. That's such a good scene.
Oh yes, that whole really, really good. So yeah, Stuber, thumbs up for me. So with that, I think that'll do it. Again, highlights here.
We're trying to shorten it.
Well, yeah, like we said though, we tried to shorten it in the sense of if we had done a review, this would have been crazy long. And also the Emmys were a huge thing to cover and stuff. That was 30 minutes just by itself. All right, so again, things to remember here. We have 3 shows coming at you guys a week. 3 a week. We have this show every single Tuesday. We have Planet Hero every single Thursday. And we have Planet Council every single Saturday. And it will be a mix-up of the 3 of us on all of those shows. Mainly it's going to be me and Donald on Planet Hero. Mainly me and TJ on Planet Council. And then this show is going to be sometimes the 3 of us. Sometimes if TJ can't do it. If I can't do it, Donald can't do it. It'll be whatever. So yeah, the main thing that we are trying to bring to you guys is consistency. Obviously, we had a lot going on these past 2 weeks, but we are going to be coming back full force with the shows here, making them live for you so that we can have the audience interaction. That was another thing that I think went well, even with the, limited people we had, they had good input. They steered the conversation at times. So make sure, if anybody, out there watching right now, tell your friends about it. Be part of the conversation. Join the community. Remember, follow us at Planet Film Pod. We have a Planet Film Facebook page, Facebook group. Go ahead and follow us on there. But with that, I think that will do it. Now, Donald, I know this is your first official sign-off here. So do you want to go first by letting us know what your name has been?
Oh, my name has been Donald Beasley. That's my name.
All right, and my name is Sean Monk.
TJ Cornwell.
And remember to live your life 1/4 mile at a time. Take it easy, guys. Catch you in the next one.